Hey folks, here is the second video today out at Lost Creek Reserve near Troy, Ohio. Except I don't see Achilles nearby. So as part of the video, I actually wanted to focus upon the Black Walnut, also known as the Juglone nigra. So the Black Walnut is one of the most sought after deciduous hardwood trees in the state of Ohio. And you may be wondering why. Well, due to the quality of its hardwood, it makes it very valuable. And that is the case because, since it's also a lightweight wood, it's been used for purposes such as furniture, gun stocks, and even cabinets too, even siding too, like for buildings. I mean, for instance, when I did my video the other day at the Bears Mill, that area or that building used black walnut for some of its siding. Remarkable, isn't it? So in this case, we're actually seeing it as in the form of a tree. So in terms of the leaves, they are usually pinnately compound, as you can see right here. And the leaves typically alternate between each other. So let's try to see an example here. So if you look, it's a little windy, but if you look real closely, we have a leaf here, and then we have another one there. So you can see that they alternate from each other from both sides of the stem. And usually there are two leaves that meet at the top. And you can tell that the individual leaf is a bit serrated or toothed margin as well, and it has a completely pointed tip as well. So then, to also point out, hence the name of the tree, they produce these little walnuts here. And these are very valuable among our wildlife, like squirrels, even birds, woodpeckers, and even we can consume them too. However though, the thing is, black walnut behaves a lot like the honey locust, which was another tree that I did a video on just the other day. They can actually act kind of toxic because of some of the chemicals that they produce. So usually black walnut, you want them to be rather, for lack of a better word, secluded. So you'd want them to be around other particular native trees. And when I was showing you guys that walnut, that is the outer covering. That's not the actual walnut itself. You won't really get to see the actual walnut until it gets a bit later in the summer, starting into the fall. And surprisingly, I want to show you guys this. Give me just a second. Here we are. So when it's a bit more mature, just beneath this green surface here, you kind of see like a substance that's underneath it that kind of has like a yellowish black color. That's just more outer covering. And the problem is, upon exposure to your fingers or even your clothing, it can actually act as a stain. So usually if you're handling walnuts, you usually want to wear gloves or even have clothing that you really don't care much about, because usually it's very difficult to remove the stains. But aside from that, the actual walnut itself is quite delicious. There's two halves associated, perfectly symmetrical too. But yeah, we'll just put that down there. Yeah. And like regarding the bark too, we're gonna walk up to it. We can see that there are some lichens on there, and typically if you look underneath, so I don't know if we'll be able to pull it off or not because of how thick the bark is. You can see that it kind of has like a chocolate brown color underneath the bark, and that's usually another indication that you're looking at a black walnut tree. But yeah, the bark itself too as a whole, you can see that as compared to like an analogy for those of you who have seen a diamondback snake, you can see that the bark kind of has a similar pattern to that of a diamondback's skin. So that's a good analogy that you can use too, as a matter of fact. But yep, usually when they reach full maturity, they can be as high as 60 to 80 feet. And you can tell this one is very well on its way. It's getting there. Probably about in the middle right now. I'd probably say, just from looking at it, it's probably about 40 to 50. So it's still growing, you could say. And there's actually an amazing piece of technology. Yeah, my bad. Amazing piece of technology called LiDAR that actually, it's called light detection, and crap, I can't remember the rest of the name. My bad. Well, either way, this piece of technology is oftentimes used in GIS, or Geographic Information Systems. And this technology, LiDAR, can actually trace the height of a tree. So it's quite remarkable how that's actually done. I actually have seen it a couple of times, how it, the procedure. It actually is really cool. Yeah, so now I'm actually entering a little trail that is here that basically just shows us some of the woodlands that you would normally find in Ohio. So alright mates, hope you learned something about the black walnut. I'm sure many of you have some on your property. So, just providing some more insight on the tree itself and what it provides for us. So hope you all enjoy your wacky Wednesday. And once again, Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks.